There is no red, white, or blue in this country. The only color that matters is green because we live in the United Corporations of America. Hello, Jordan Sheridan, live Status Coup. It is Wednesday, July the 2nd, 2024 in the United Corporations of America. Quick live stream today, probably go just under an hour. I want to take some calls, also talk about and show you some of our on-the-ground reporting currently underway in the swamps of South Florida. It is hot down there, and the evil monstrosity that they're calling Alligator Alcatraz is in full swing, and less than 24 hours after the grand opening, there is already flooding. There's already flooding going on in the facility. So can't make this up. Can't wait to see what happens a week from now. So please smash the like button. Going to take your calls shortly. Ashley is on the ground down there, so she's doing interviews, I believe, right now. So I don't know if she's going to be live today, but she definitely will be live tomorrow. It was kind of a last-minute thing for us to go down there, but we wanted to go down there because, this is kind of this story is about so many things all at once. It's about Trump's, kind of immoral distraction that is the deportation force. It is about the environment. The Everglades is super important down there for the environment. It also provides about 8 million people in Florida their drinking water, not to mention hosting a lot of precious and endangered species. You also have the Native American tribes and land and sacred burial grounds that surround this ICE prison facility, that most of which is outdoors in a heat index right now of over 100 degrees with swarming mosquitoes, scalding humidity, and judging by our coverage of other ICE detention centers, I'm not banking on them providing ample amount of water to the prisoners. Many people are calling this a concentration camp. Well, based on the record, I'm not optimistic that prisoners there are going to get proper water, food, air conditioning, and basic humane treatment. So that's why Ashley's down there. She's interviewing Native Americans. She's interviewing environmentalists, local community members, and more. So we're going to show you a clip or two from her reporting so far and go from there. Please smash the like button, share this live stream so we can get it out to as many people as possible. Are we live on Twitter? I don't see us on Twitter. Colin, check if we are on Twitter, because I do not see the stream there for some reason. But want to start. Trump yesterday, it's just getting more and more brazen, the fascism. In one day, he threatened to start deporting American citizens. He threatened to sue CNN over a report they did. He just successfully settled with ABC over a flimsy lawsuit. CBS, not ABC. Although he got a settlement from ABC not so long ago. He is threatening now to reopen Alcatraz, the infamous prison, over in San Francisco. What else? Deporting U.S. citizens, threatening to arrest, quote, communist Democratic nominee Zohran Mamdani. So that's all in 24 hours. And the Republicans are gleefully, in my view, cruelly hawking merchandise off of Alligator Alcatraz. So this is what they're doing as they are completely fucking, capital F, fucking MAGA and the rest of the working class with the big, beautiful bullshit bank robbery. Now 17 million are estimated to lose their Medicaid. food stamps, not to mention all the hidden provisions in there. It guts clean energy, wind, solar, renewable tax credits programs. There are so much pork in there, it would make, a farmer blush. There's so much pork and fat and handouts to certain senators, including Alaska Senator Susan Murkowski or Lisa Murkowski. It's disgraceful. So they're screwing you. They're going to take your Medicaid, among other things. But hey, get your Alligator Alcatraz hat. It's completely obscene. Let's start before we get to Ashley's on the ground reporting there. And smash the like button, share this live stream live a little bit earlier. It's a little tricky for me to go live at 5 o'clock right now because of the newborn. But hopefully I'll be able to start going live again around 5 o'clock, which I think is better for most people. Let's start with Trump's clip where he's just openly talking about taking American citizens in prison and deporting them.
I'd like to say, a little controversial, but I couldn't care less. We have a lot of bad criminals that came into this country, and they came in stupidly. It was an unforced error. It was an incompetent president that allowed it to happen. It was an auto pen maybe that allowed it to happen, and it did happen. But we also have a lot of bad people that have been here for a long time, people that whack people over the head with a baseball bat from behind when they're not looking and kill them, people that knife you when you're walking down the street. They're not new to our country. They're old to our country. Many of them were born in our country. I think we ought to get them the hell out of here, too. You want to know the truth. So maybe that'll be the next job that we'll work on together. But I think getting them out, we forget about them. We had some bad accidents in New York, and they're not accidents.
Yeah. So let's just kind of do away with the Constitution we all pretend we, have a fetish for and sleep with underneath our pillow. Let's just get rid of the Constitution, and we'll just pluck people we think are bad hombres, even U.S. citizens, and get rid of them. Well, I thought there was something called the First Amendment in America. I remember Republicans, bitching and moaning about oh my God, the Democrats are so censorious. They love censorship. They do. I don't hear any of those same Republicans and MAGA sycophants that blow Trump for a living on YouTube, podcasts, etc. I don't hear them saying anything about Trump just openly saying, yeah, I'm just going to deport American citizens if I don't like them, or they're violent, or go after people with a baseball bat. And why this is so dangerous is this goes beyond Trump. When you allow things and certain sentiments to be normalized, when you allow actually perhaps these actions to be normalized, it just sets it up for the next Trump, who might be less bombastic than Trump, but might actually be more effective. So environmental protesters, U.S. citizens, gone if we don't like you. You think the Supreme Court is going to stop them? Supreme Court seems to selectively adhere to the Constitution and the laws they're supposed to follow. Gaza protesters, you think they're going to stop? If Trump doesn't like certain ones that are U.S. citizens, but hey, you're a terrorist, gone, because you said the wrong thing. Healthcare protesters, people who protest outside Mar-a-Lago, Trump Tower. I mean, 10 years ago, if a president spoke like this, there'd be serious news coverage about it. There might even be hearings. Nothing. I mean, basically, he said this with virtually not a peep. And these MAGA sycophants. And by the way, this big, beautiful bank robbery bill, they're trying to do it in a very sneaky way where the actual worst of the Medicaid cuts don't go into effect until after the midterm election, so people wouldn't feel them until after the vote. I mean, it is brazenly corrupt. It's beyond austerity. I mean, I've been covering politics for about 15 years, give or take. I have never seen a bill this regressive. Not even the Bush tax cuts, not even Trump's first tax bill. I mean, they are ramming every right-wing Grover Norquist, Stephen Miller, fever dream right in here. So that's Trump talking about getting rid of U.S. citizens. And the Democratic Party's response, I don't have the picture, but Hakeem Jeffries, I guess technically the Democratic leader, posted on Twitter an image of him with a baseball bat in his office because the Democrats are going to put a dent in the Republicans' bill. That's basically what he said. He's posing with a baseball bat in his office because they're going to take a swing at the Republican bill. Oh, boy. So then you had on his way to the Alligator Alcatraz, which, as far as I know, we're one of the only independent outlets down there. And I'm about to show you a clip from Ashley, just one of the interviews she's done. She's right now doing more interviews today down there. Here is Trump just kind of casually joking about, he's advising potential prisoner escapees how they should run to avoid the alligators.
The snakes are fast, but alligators are, we're going to teach them how to run away from an alligator, okay? If they escape prison, how to run away. Don't run in a straight line. Run like this. And you know what? Your chances go up about 1%, okay? Not a good thing.
Somewhere on a porch in Mississippi, an old white racist is loving life and trying to find his alligator flask. I mean, I don't want to paint with a broad brush, but that's who they're playing to. The worst of the worst, the biggest bigots, the biggest racists, the biggest fuckheads, right-wingers, the very people who Thomas Frank wrote about in What's the Matter with Kansas anymore. People who truly have been hoodwinked and conned to thinking that undocumented immigrants are the reason their life sucks and the greatest threat to Western civilization as they strip their Medicaid from them. By the way, I mean, obviously, you're not going to have a mass prison escape and alligators eating prisoners. I mean, an alligator could eat a human, but they're doing this all for the cruelty, the symbolism, the ability to, the power complex, the God complex over undocumented immigrants. I don't really care if you're left, if you're right. I mean, if you just care about humanity and morality, you should not cheer this. And for those that say, well, Jordan, then they shouldn't come here illegally. Okay. If you want to say that, you're going to help me build an Alligator Alcatraz for the Wall Street bankers who tanked the global economy? Can we put them in an outdoor prison in over 100 degrees heat with no air conditioning, outdoors, with swarming mosquitoes? How about the fossil fuel CEOs that are leaking into your water, crude oil? How about the Sackler family, the big pharma ghouls who poisoned and killed hundreds of thousands of people? You want to create an ICE facility for them? Rattlesnakes, maybe? So it's just undocumented immigrants, which, by the way, is a misdemeanor. But the actual criminals that have created a new Gilded Age, let them live. They're the job creators. I haven't even gotten to the big tech criminals. I haven't gotten to the Silicon Valley people. I haven't gotten to military-industrial complex, Monsanto, Norfolk Southern, United Healthcare. I mean, we could go down the list. These criminals don't seem to bother MAGA, and don't really bother Democrats either because they take their money. Very interesting. Who's a criminal and who's not in this country, huh? Smash the like button. Share this live stream. Let's get it out to more people. Let's then go to MAGA Barbie. I guess she's not Barbie because she's brunette. Kristi Noem was next to Trump at Alligator Alcatraz, basically saying that she wants this to be a model for the rest of the country. She wants more prisons like this.
And this facility is exactly what I want every single governor in this country to consider doing with us. What happened to start this conversation was that a young man named Jimmy Percival in my office, my general counsel, who came from Florida and used to work here, called up the Attorney General and the governor and said, hey, what do you think about partnering with us on a detention facility that we could put in place that would allow us to bring individuals there. There's an airstrip close by. You guys volunteered the assets that you have and the connections that you have and worked with Kevin extensively so that we could come here, have their due process given, and return them home to their countries. And in 8 days, this facility has been stood.
Yeah, let's build more facilities like this. Colin, do you have the video of the flooding that's already happening in this facility? So that's flooding. That's video from yesterday, and they didn't even officially open it. This was built in 8 days. By the way, Florida, if you're watching from Florida, there's a massive affordable housing crisis. Miami, Tampa, some of the most skyrocketing rents in the United Corporations of America. But we're going to spend $450 million on a alligator swamp to eat brown people that my guess is, since they rushed it, was built very substandardly. And we're going to start hearing, probably from our reporter, Ashley Bishop down there, horror stories of people fainting because they don't have air conditioning throughout the facility in 100 degrees heat, and they're not giving residents proper water and food. But it's already flooding. It's just vile. And the cruelty is the point. The cruelty is the point. And let's show you the White House. Twitter. They are literally hawking ice hats over alligators. Ice hats over alligators. Doesn't get more own the libs than that. And let's show you another one of these Trump blowjob artists, Benny Johnson, a right wing. I don't know what I guess he has a show. They're all the same, really. They just kind of toe our dear leader's talking points. He was allowed down there. Trump allowed a bunch of right-wing podcasters and sycophants to tour the facility. He's got his Alligator Alcatraz hat and is giggling as he gives a tour to his audience.
I just want everyone to know that there's official Alligator Alcatraz merch. There it is, provided to us by the state of Florida. Incredible. And yeah, would you rock this drip? Look at that.
Hey, wear the hat. Wear the hat as you're locked out of your rural hospital that's shutting down. But wear your Alcatraz hat. Maybe, go eat some alligator when your hospital is shut down. When you can't get in for your Medicaid because your Medicaid got cut. When your food stamps is cut. Enjoy it when your job gets cut because of artificial intelligence, which the Trump administration is spending, giving all sorts of government money to these AI companies. But wear the hat, get your shirt, get your phone cover, pillow cover, bathing suit, muscle shirt. Hey, old white conservatives, get an alligator cane. Colin, you live in Texas. I'm sure they're going to love it down there. Maybe they'll start having some Alligator Alcatraz gear at the local rodeo, the barbecue.
Oh, I guarantee I will see those hats at our gas stations. They have some of what you would expect you would see in Texas is at all the gas, especially the truck gas stations. I'll be sure to check it out and take a picture if I see one.
And by the way, Texas, one of the bigger recipients of Medicaid. So enjoy your hats as your Medicaid gets cut. Nearly 17 million people about to lose Medicaid. Just obscene, obscene, obscene. Lastly, before we get to Ashley's great reporting from outside Alligator Alcatraz, it seems that Trump is now escalating his talk of making exceptions for the brown people that his Republican donors need on their farms, for the brown people that his Republican donors need at their hotels, for the brown people that are okay illegals acceptable illegals, so to speak. This is Trump with his stupid Gulf of America hat draped behind Ron DeSantis, another sycophant who thinks by sucking Trump off will give him a better shot at 2028. Probably not going to work unless he gets a personality transplant. But here's Trump saying that, yeah, maybe we'll make exceptions now for the farmers, hotel workers, etc.
The idea of finding some way to get farm workforce and service sector workforce. And I think you've discussed somehow a program of people leaving on a sponsorship and coming right back. Can you give us a little more detail about that and why, in the view of some hardliners, it's not amnesty?
Take care of our farmers and hotel workers and various other people, and we're working on it right now, and Ron's going to be involved, and you're involved already. So we have a lot of cases where ICE will go into a farm, and these are guys working there for 10, 15 years, no problem. The farmers know them. We're going to put, it's called farmer responsibility or owner responsibility, where they're going to be largely responsible for these people. And they know these people. They've worked on the farms for 15 years, and all of a sudden so I have a great, Ron does, Christie does, we have a great feeling for the farmer and for others in the same position. And we're going to give them responsibility for people. And we're going to have a system of signing them up so they don't have to go. They can be here legally. They can pay taxes and everything else. They're not getting citizenship, but they get other things. And the farmers need them to do the work. Without those people, you're not going to be able to run your farm.
Huh. The farmers are going to take responsibility for their workers. Wasn't there another time in history, something like that, where property owners had basically workers that they took responsibility for and barely paid or didn't pay? I think it was called slavery. Or am I being too dramatic? Hey, Susan, sorry to say you're a dummy. I love Alligator Alley. Guess who's not spending taxpayer money? You know how they're paying for this, Susan? Another MAGA idiot. They're just taking FEMA money that's earmarked for hurricane disaster. So, Susan, I don't know where you live, but if you live in Florida, they're stealing your hurricane relief money to build this totally unnecessary, inhumane alligator swamp. So the next 3 hurricanes that boom, boom, boom hit Florida, just wait for Ron DeSantis to cry, we don't have any money. But wait, Trump said he wants to get rid of FEMA, right? It's just so, I could argue, I could have a reasonable conversation with like conservative people that have a brain that can acknowledge when they're getting screwed, and there are some of them. But the MAGA brain, it's like, it really, I used to love the WWF back in the day. What they call it, the WWE now. I grew up, Bret the Hitman Hart was my favorite wrestler. I love, I wasn't quite there in the 80s with the Hulkster and all that, but Bret the Hitman Hart, Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels. And I loved the spectacle of it. And, to a certain extent, as a young boy, I loved the brutality and, smashing the chair over their face and the fake blood, which I thought was real at the time. There was a certain part of me, and I guess a lot of people that liked brutality. I guess that's part of why people watch football. But this takes it to another level. Like, if you there's something within you that gets a rush out of just preying on brown people and the thought of them being eaten by alligators, there's something wrong with you. Right. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about the morons clapping like seals right now for him. So our Ashley Bishop got down there yesterday. She got down there. The flight was delayed by an hour and a half, probably because of the cuts that Doge made to FAA, air traffic controllers. So she just missed a big protest, but she was still able to interview folks down there. And she's doing more interviews today, tomorrow. We really, really need your support. These on-the-ground reporting trips make Status Coup unique. We are one of the few independent outlets on the ground covering what the corporate media covers up. I promise you will not see these types of interviews on CNN, MSNBC, in the pages of the New York Times, the Washington Post. You won't see it on other podcasts. There's not a lot of independent media doing this kind of work. We need your support. It costs a lot of money to send Ashley and John down there, even for 4 or 5 days, between the rent, the hotels, the flights, the rent-a-car, food. It's really expensive. So please, please support this on-the-ground reporting. $5 a month. That's all I'm asking for. StatusCoup.com/join. Become a member now. We're actually making some changes right now on the back end to our membership program, trying to attract more people to sign up through our website too. So if you're going to sign up, please sign up on our website. And we're going to have our first members call, our next members only call next week. So we'll be doing our members only call, which is a video call that we do once a month next week. All right, let's show you some of Ashley's reporting from yesterday.
I'm grateful you brought up the intersectionality, because that has been something that has been missing, and that is why we are here, because we realize that this is not just an environmental issue. That is a very big part of it, but this is a human. These are humans. There's human trafficking. There's kidnappings happening. There are people being torn from their families. There are young mothers who will not be able to raise their children. And there's people who will never be able to become an elder. And these are indigenous people with medicine, with culture, with love, with communities. And they don't deserve to be ignored. There needs to be some sort of respect towards the tribes that are putting tax dollars into the Florida economy. Unfortunately, we send those people lots of money, and what are they doing to us? How dare they? How dare they? This is not their land. This is our land. This is native land. This is Seminole, Miccosukee, and indigenous people who are working, who are living, who are living our lives here.
One of the major things, especially in terms of impact, is, we know that the carceral system here, especially the for-profit prison system, is one of the major polluters. I mean, you can look that stuff up under the EPA, although probably right now you can't really find a lot of that info. But there have been even academic writers that have talked about the intersectionality of environmental justice and who actually benefits from harm, or who doesn't benefit, right? Who is actually harmed when there's development, when there's detainment centers. And there actually has been a lot of studies. We saw that recently. George Takei, who's like an actor, he was describing, sort of responding to the Alligator Alcatraz, and he said, Japanese Americans were rounded up in the 1930s, and we were sent to Arkansas to also a swampland, and he remembers that from being young, and he goes, the goal is terror. The goal is for us to suffer the most.
Snakes are fast, but alligators are. We're going to teach them how to run away from an alligator. Okay, if they escape prison, how to run away. Don't run in a straight line. Run like this, and you know what? Your chances go up about 1%. Okay, not a good thing.
Again, major polluters. There's lack of infrastructure. A lot of times there's not a lot of money put into these prison systems because it's about the bottom dollar. And so who's going to suffer the consequences? They're going to lacking medical needs are going to be lacking. A lot of that safety and it's a public health issue too. So that's a huge impact.
That's just some of the interviews she did yesterday. She did about 4 or 5 interviews. We're going to be posting them as we get them in. The connection down there is not so great. We couldn't even go live yesterday because it's the area is pretty remote, so the signal was terrible. We think she's going to be able to go live tomorrow. We're trying to speak with Native Americans that are there. There's several tribes that have been there forever. That this is being built right on their reservation through their sacred ancestral land, sacred burial grounds. If you remember Standing Rock, that was obviously extremely, extremely controversial. That was supposed to go through a white community an hour away. The white people said no. They rerouted it right on top of Standing Rock Sioux's reservation. This was hastily built. Actually, the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, invoked emergency powers, citing an immigration invasion, and seized the land from Miami-Dade County, who did not want this built there. So this is a government, The small government Republicans sure seem to like big government when it comes to terrorizing brown people and stealing native land. It's also a grave threat environmentally. If you're familiar, the Everglades is crucial to the Florida environment. It is extremely important for flood control. It has a lot of endangered species. It provides drinking water to millions of Floridians. It has been polluted for a long time, from big sugar to big oil to a lot of different things. There's been environmental groups down there fighting against this pollution for decades. But, you know, there's so many elements to this: the inhumanity of it, the immorality of it, the as that wise woman said, the point is the terror. The point is the terror. The goal is to terrorize. So that's why we're down there on the ground. And frankly, you know, we always say you get this level of fascism, and that's what this is, because it's enabled. We had neoliberal Democrats in office on and off for the last 40 years doing nothing for the people, selling their jobs to other countries, giving them crumbs, abandoning the few promises they made, from a $15 minimum wage to a public option, and, offering tax credits. And who came in? A phony populist finding an other to blame. And this is only going to get worse. I don't think he's kidding about deporting U.S. citizens. And frankly, judging by the Supreme Court, I don't know if there will be a lot of resistance to it. He's already gotten presidential immunity from the Supreme Court. He's joking about serving a third term. I don't think it's a joke at all. And I think whatever you want to call yourself, the opposition, the resistance, you better start coming up with a plan to stop him. Because the MAGA Republicans don't care if he shoots someone on Fifth Avenue. They will make excuses for him. They don't care. It is a cult of personality, and this is truly our dear leader. As humorist says, Jordan, it literally protects the entire state. It dies there. Will be no Florida. We stopped that airport from being built because it was poisoning the Everglades. Yes, right where they're building this camp was a proposed airport that was stopped by environmentalists. I mean, I don't know what else to say, but this is very, very serious, very, very grave. That's why we're down there. Please, please support us if you can. There's a lot of different outlets, whether it's YouTube channels, podcasts, influencers, constantly asking folks for money. Obviously, politicians asking you for money, nonprofits asking you for money. I'm not saying we're the only good thing to support, but as far as I know, we're the only ones consistently doing this on the ground reporting. We have covered the ICE prison in New Jersey. We've covered the ICE raids in LA, where our reporter, Tina Desiree Berg, got shot. Ashley and John covered the ICE protests in New York City. We have also covered for over about 2 years now the Gaza protests. We are walking the walk, and we do not have funding from the terrorists funding Department of Homeland Security and ICE. We do not have funding from the AI fucks. We do not have funding from United Healthcare. We do not have funding from Goldman Sachs. We do not have funding from name your criminal corporation. For us to afford these trips, and we actually want to send Ashley next to Memphis, where Elon Musk is building the world's largest supercomputer factory that is literally poisoning a black community in South Memphis. But all these things cost money. We also want to hire more staff, including a producer. We want to make John, our cameraman, full-time. He's not full-time yet, and many other things. So please, 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 I am not beyond begging you, support us. StatusCoup.com/join. StatusCoup.com/join. All right. I got to go at 5, so I'm going to take a few calls now, so don't be shy. Let me go to the call-in program. We like to take calls from time to time. We're trying to figure out how to do it where 2 people could be on, so we could do it on our Sunday show. Let's see. All right. My shows. Host the show. Save and start. Ready. I'm just getting it ready. We're talking to you. All right. And Slurm just became a Status Coup member. Welcome, welcome. Let's rain new members. Support this on the ground reporting. All right. Who do we got here? Colin, you can put up the phone number there. 222. Caller from Columbia, South Carolina. Are you there?
Hi, Jordan.
Hey there.
Hey, I want to talk about about the New York election and how it shows how AIPAC kind of led to this current Trump presidency. Hearing that Mondani won the presidency really shook the supporters of AIPAC, and how it shows who they really are, and that the fact that they'll stop at nothing to make sure they get their way, even this current mess of a presidency. And seeing how people up in New York can suffer or live peacefully based on if the mayor is Democrat or not, shows that AIPAC can laugh at the fact that we have this current presidency.
Well, I think there's another element too that I wouldn't be surprised if there's an effort by Democrats and Republicans to get rid of, and that's ranked choice voting. I think Mamdani probably had a strong chance to win even in a normal election in a place, in a city that didn't have ranked choice voting. But I think ranked choice voting greatly helped him, specifically the ability to cross endorse Brad Landers, who is a city comptroller, the highest level, Jewish official in New York City, endorsing him, kind of standing on stage with him, giving his blessing, so to speak, I think greatly helped him. And you also had the higher turnout among young voters. It wouldn't surprise me if the reaction to this is AIPAC funding Democrats and Republicans to get rid of ranked choice voting. Again, he probably still would have won here, but it wouldn't have been as much of a landslide. But I don't think AIPAC's done. I just did an interview with India Walton yesterday. Definitely check that out. She was screwed in 2021 in Buffalo, not by AIPAC, just by the Democrats who say one thing to progressives: fall in line, unite. If a progressive loses the primary, but then make up their own rules if the corporate Democrat wins. Byron Brown's, the Buffalo mayor, lost to India Walton in the primary and then decided, I'm just going to run again, a write-in campaign. And he had Republican super PACs helping him. I think you're going to have AIPAC. I think you're going to have Republicans. There might be other candidates that jump in to try and pull vote away from Mamdani. So I don't think it's a clear runway yet to him winning the mayoral's race. And New York City is not the rest of the country. So unless the left, or whatever you want to call it, the working class, comes up with this level of organizing for all races, because that's why he won. He did the AOC blueprint. They knocked on a shit ton of doors in New York City. They went into communities that most candidates stopped going into a long time ago. If you get that in other areas, that's how you defeat AIPAC and its flood of money. And they had a particularly bad candidate in Cuomo. So I wouldn't say AIPAC's done yet. I think this is a wake-up call for AIPAC, and I think they're going to double down.
Aside from Cuomo losing, it seems like they're also running a big scam to attract more people to come to the DC area to work for them. And it makes it even worse that there are people who are willing to buy their amount of falsehoods.
You talk about AIPAC? And AIPAC is luring more people to work for them?
I'm talking about both sides, both conservative and liberal. And it seems like it makes like the only way you're going to live near the DC area is if you work for a very powerful politician.
Right.
And if they lose, well, you're pretty much stuck in DC.
Yeah. And lobbyists, of course. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that unless there's serious reforms on our campaign finance system, which is not happening anytime soon, certainly not under this president and not under more corporatists, the only way to defeat big money is with organized people, and a lot of organized people. I also think it's helping that we're at this tipping point. It's a unique moment where you have Republicans screaming at town halls, tax the rich, and pissed off at the Medicaid cuts. And there's a lot of Republicans starting to wake up to the fact, maybe we're being screwed here. And the culture war isn't as significant to them because they're being hit in the pocketbook, which also happened during Trump's tariffs, where a lot of Republicans' 401ks went up to hell in a handbasket. And when it affects them, they start to care. And there's also normie Democrats starting to get fed up. Maybe they don't agree with the Bernie types and progressives on everything, but they're starting to see, hey, these people aren't fighting for us. So I think that type of overlap and that type of both more Republicans and more normie Democrats open to a more left message, I think that is a unique opening to go against the AIPACs of the world. But the proof is in the pudding. I mean, AIPAC and those special interests are extremely powerful because the human mind, when you are blanketed nonstop with TV ads, painting, whether it's Nina Turner or Jessica Cisneros or Jamal Bowman or Cori Bush, basically as the Antichrist, as anti-Semites, etc. If you don't have organized progressive campaigns in big numbers and big energy, you're going to lose. And that's part of what happened in this last 4 years in this post-Bernie era. There was a lot of powerful and big name YouTubers telling people don't get involved. I mean, I'll never forget when I went out to cover Nina Turner's first campaign. This was in 2021. I was pretty surprised how few volunteers she had. You could say that's her fault, but there was also this deflation of progressive energy because there were YouTube hosts calling Bernie and other sellouts. They were YouTube hosts saying, don't support anyone that has a D next to their name. And I always said, I don't blame people for being pissed. I don't blame people for being cynical, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, if you don't have energy, if you don't have volunteers, if you don't have people door knocking, if you don't have enough people phone banking, if you don't have the energy, it's really hard to defeat AIPAC and this and that. So, and that's what AIPAC and all these powerful Democratic Majority for Israel super PAC, all the usual Democratic Party donors, that's what they want. They want progressives fighting with each other. They want progressives canceling one another so that there's less of us going after them. Mamdani, I think, was really successful. He didn't get into the culture war stuff, the quote woke stuff. He talked about affordability, high prices, had very specific, bold ideas. It helps that he's young, articulate. I think we need more of that. I gotta run to the next person. Thanks for calling, man.
All right, bye, Jordan.
All right, Charles, you're up.
Hey
there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Peter Santinello?
I'm not.
He's basically a big YouTuber. He has over like 3 million subscribers. I'm probably never heard of him. Basically, he does on the ground reporting. Basically, he goes all around the country, and and the reason I thought of you is because it was maybe at least 6 months ago, he went to East Palestine, Ohio, and he interviewed a bunch of people like you guys do, and all the people he spoke with made it sound like it was no big deal. That's why I'm sure it is a big deal, and I agree with your reporting. But I was just because I just thought that was odd that all the people he interviewed made it seem like it was no big deal.
I think I saw what you're talking about. I guess I didn't. It didn't register with me that it was that guy. Yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched just a few minutes, and it was very clear to me that I don't know if this guy was just had an agenda or.
Nah, he's not a partisan hack.
Okay,
he seems pretty neutral usually.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of his stuff, but he doesn't really go. He doesn't really talk about his politics.
Yeah, I think
you can kind of tell.
There is a provision, and this is not just East Palestine. This happens in a lot of communities that have, whether it's environmental disasters or whatnot. There is a part of the community that paints it as not a big deal, or says it's improving quicker than it is because business is being hurt by the image of this is a toxic cesspool. And they just want to get back to normal. There has been a divide in East Palestine. You could see it even on Facebook groups of those people who just want to get back to normal, who maybe want to sell their house but couldn't sell their house because of people saying it's toxic and stuff like that. So it's possible that's who he was speaking with. I don't know. I could tell you it is a big deal. I could tell you I've been there 3 times. Our colleague Lewis, who is no longer with us, he moved to Germany. He was there 5 times. I got sick. Colin got sick there. Lewis got sick there. CDC officials got sick there. I talk to residents all the time who are still sick. Sadly, for those of you who remember, I interviewed a man, Wayne O'Connell, 66 years old, double breast cancer. I don't know if his wife wants to share the full details, but it's not good. His prognosis, it has spread. So it's not good.
The way I interpreted it, the people he spoke with, I mean, I agree with you. I think that those people are just ignorant. And that's how I interpreted it. They were just ignorant.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of that, unfortunately. And part of that comes from the media. I mean, at the end of the day, the national media parachutes in and out of places like East Palestine and Flint. They, when it's on fire or there's long lines to get water, and other than that, they maybe come back for anniversary pieces, and that's it. The local media is even worse. So most of the people, sadly, in America, don't have a ton of scrutiny for their media. I'm not talking about the MAGA people. I'm just talking about like normal people that aren't like diehard into politics, that are just living their life. They just trust what the media says, or if the media is not covering anything, out of sight, out of mind. And I know for a fact in East Palestine, there were residents who provided pretty scandalous information to local media, and they wouldn't run it. They would not run the stories. So.
Well, he did go for this recently. He went down to those places that you probably covered, like where they had the big storms or tornadoes, like North Carolina, Tennessee, and those people made it seem like it was, and he did go back like 8 months later, kind of like you guys do, and those people are still suffering, and he did show that,
Great. Yeah, I'll have to check out his work a little bit more and find out what his secret is, because. Yeah, we've been, we're growing, thankfully. We're almost at 500,000 subscribers, but it's definitely been a slow burn for us. So,
well, he's not the same niche as you. He doesn't do like politics. He just does like a discovery type thing.
Oh,
he
I
just
see.
goes around different.
Yeah,
he's not politics. He does on the ground reporting, but not from a political angle. He just goes there to see what it's like, and
that makes sense.
Basically narrate it, and But obviously sometimes politics get intertwined. But he just pretty much he has like over 3 million subscribers. I was surprised you never heard of him. But
and I think the next frontier, so to speak, are these data centers. They are building these data centers at a breakneck pace. It might sound kind of innocuous and fine. These data centers to operate use a shit ton of electricity. The one Elon Musk is using in South Memphis, they have basically natural gas turbines releasing all sort of toxic shit into the air, and people are getting sick. I just got an email today about one that's going up in West Virginia where there's community opposition to. So those are some other stories we want to cover on the ground. So support us.
Are you going to cover the strike in Philadelphia?
Which one?
The workers' strike. They just went on strike on Tuesday.
I saw
city workers, like the trash is all piling up on the streets.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, we're going to try to cover that. It's kind of hard because I don't know if we can go there in person, but we'll definitely cover it for sure. For sure.
Okay.
All right, man.
Right up your alley. Thanks.
Appreciate your support. Seth, you're up.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, long time, first time.
Hey there.
I just wanted to hey, can you hear me?
I can.
Long time, first time. I just really wanted to say I appreciate the hell out of you guys and your channel. I am a disabled person and cannot financially afford to help you guys, but I wish I could. And I know that you say it all the time, but people that can't afford to shouldn't feel badly. But look, I wish I could do so much for you guys, but just look, I love you. And if there's anything you need from a weird creative in Illinois, hit me up sometime. Okay.
I love you back. And I will say, people don't realize it really, really helps. I mean, if every single person that watches our video or live stream shares it, likes it, and leaves a comment, that kind of perks YouTube's algorithm. So if everybody watching,
you got it, dude.
Yeah, if everybody watching likes it, shares it, and leaves a comment that kind of piques YouTube's algorithm enough to start sharing it and recommending it. So if you can't support us financially, that's fine, but you certainly could do those things. So thank you.
Awesome sauce. Have a great day, dude.
You too.
Pieces.
All right, Jake, you're up.
Jordan, how's it going?
Hey there.
Hello?
Hey.
Hey, been same as the last caller, been a long time listener and really enjoy your show and what you guys cover, especially your work up in Flint. I'm from Michigan, live in Lansing. But just wanted to kind of give a quick plug for something I've been personally working with. We're trying to sort of resurrect the progressive Bull Moose Party.
Nice.
And if you look back, it's been a really interesting journey for me since basically the election. If you look back at 1912 and what those people experienced with the robber barons and the trust funds and everything all those rich people running the show back then, and what Teddy Roosevelt basically proposed to get rid of that. And we're sort of repeating history here. So what's been interesting is working with a bunch of people from all over the country, trying to basically have candidates that run on the Bull Moose platform. It's not a third party like the Green Party or anything, but it's basically putting a progressive stamp on candidates, local, state, federal, whoever wants to do it. We actually have a candidate that joined our group in Clarksville, Tennessee, named Zachary Walker, who's running for city council there. He's been great working with us and trying to promote us, but it's been really cool. But I just wanted to reach out and just get your thoughts, or just kind of plug what we're working on. And you can find us on Reddit. We have like 3,000 Reddit followers. We're grassroots, so it's we're starting small. We're kind of just a bunch of history nerds that wanted to see what this is all about and really promote it. And we found a lot of cool things just looking through history and stuff and applying it to now.
I love it. I mean, my guess is most millennials / Gen Zers won't know anything about Bull Moose Party. So I guess part of the part of the challenge will be kind of like distilling it down for like the 20-second attention span people. 20 seconds is being generous, maybe 5.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you could kind of fuse like that old timey lunch bucket progressive with the growing working class sentiment in America, I'm for it. Because I think, listen, people are open to alternatives to the Democratic and Republican Party. And I think with CNN, MSNBC, New York Times, all of these platforms kind of decreasing in prominence, a lot of independent alternative outlets increasing in prominence, some of them, I think, to the detriment, but that's my opinion. I think alternative parties, particularly populist progressive ones, can take over. I really do. So it's not going to be overnight, but I like the idea.
Yeah, it's a slow process for sure, and we know it's an uphill battle, and but it starts local. You can run for office. Check us out. Anybody listening out there that wants, sorry, it's my truck. Anybody that wants to run under the Bull Moose platform, check us out. We're on Blue Sky. I think it's Bull Moose Party, Blue Sky, and then definitely on Reddit, and then we're also on Discord if you want to.
Cool.
If you want to check us out there, but
email me if you know any folks involved with this. Maybe I'll interview them.
Sure. Yeah, I'll send it your way.
Yeah, it's Jordan Sheridan at StatusCoup.com.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ben.
All right. Yep. Yeah.
Let's see if I could do one more real quick because I gotta go. All right. All right. I think that's it. I have a hard out at 5:00. I gotta take over with the newborn. My wife isn't home at the moment, so there goes my child care. We got a few new members, not enough. So if you want to support this on the ground reporting, again, Ashley's down there now. She's doing interviews today. She might be going to an affected reservation, Native American reservation, tomorrow near Alligator Alcatraz, also focusing on other stories that are happening down there. If you want real, living, breathing, independent journalism, support it for as low as 16 cents a day. That's what $5 a month is. It's as simple as that. We launched this baby in 2018, so we're 7 years old, and we're just hitting our stride. We're actually, fingers crossed, we're actually now at 464,000 YouTube subscribers. If we hit 500,000 by August, that will be 300,000 we have grown in 1 year because we hit 200,000 subscribers in August 2024. So please, please, please spread the word. Word of mouth does matter. Spread the word, friends, family, neighbors, co-workers, doesn't matter. Progressive, neoliberal, conservative, there's stories we cover that everyone should care about. So we could get to that 500,000 number. That would be really awesome because the more we grow on YouTube, not only the more revenue we get from YouTube, but the more people we could sign up as paying members, the more then we could hire, the more on-the-ground journalism we could do. So super, super important. Thank you to the members already supporting us. Like I said, we're going to do our members-only call next week. So that will be, I don't know what night, but it will be at night, usually around 7:30 Eastern time, 4:30 Pacific. Also, if you are a Status Coup member through the website, you get discounts on our merchandise. We're going to be revealing this, but if you're a $20 Status Coup member, $20 a month Status Coup member, you get a signed copy of my book, We the Poisoned. That's We the Poisoned, Exposing the Flint Water Cover-Up. So that's for $20 a month members. We've already mailed out a shit ton of those copies to recent people who signed up at $20 a month. I know, not everyone could do $20 a month, but for $5 a month members, $10 a month members, you get access to our monthly members call, behind the scenes content. Ashley's going to be doing some members only content down there in South Florida, as well as those merchandise discounts. So please, please sign up. Be on the lookout. We might be posting more content that Ashley's doing down there, more of her reporting tonight. And we will most likely be live tomorrow down in South Florida, continuing to cover this monstrosity known as Alligator Alcatraz. Also, I posted a piece on our Substack this morning about Alligator Alcatraz. So make sure you go check that out. You could support our Substack. You could join our Substack for free. Doesn't cost you anything. So we're trying to grow there too, reach new eyeballs. So thank you for watching.